9600 here. Today we're going to be playing some more Castle Crashers. So in the last episode, we got our ass handed to us multiple times in a row. And this time we are going to be continuing onward to the swamp in the quest for the magical horn that will unlock our way to continue onward to find our apprentices. So now we get a little side quest deviation and an introduction to a few new enemies, along with a few new friends. So these are the peasants, and these are the necromancer skeleton army. Most of the time they act just about the same as the thieves. They shoot a lot of arrows, they're really fast, and the way their AI is set up is roughly the same as the thieves as well. We fought these guys before and they were relatively easy. This time around they're actually a lot easier. But now we have help for them too. So if you want to break these, you can actually fight most of them if you want to get some extra leveling out of it. Which is actually a really clever idea for the most part, except for the fact that if that was really true, then it wouldn't, about the necromancer thing, then it wouldn't be necessary. Anyway, this is the last time we fought these guys. I'm pretty sure that their agility went down, although I may be like completely out of whack with knowing where we are in the game, compared to where my practice file is, because my practice file is like on the ice castle, I'm pretty sure. So you can't keep fighting these guys for more levels, which I am going to do. Also, Pazzo, which we haven't seen yet, is a really big influence on a lot of these areas. I don't know where a lot of the stuff is, but some of the stuff I deem really appropriate. You'll be seeing right here. This is actually fairly difficult to see because of the shading. But here we get one of the more interesting animal orbs in the game, in my opinion. It's the blacksmith animal orb, which is really neat. It doesn't do anything special anyways. It doesn't do anything particularly special, but it is really neat to get a frog in this game, which is really cool. This swamp is actually home to a lot of really interesting weapons that you can find. Like the Holy Sword is here, along with more opportunity to get the weapon I'm using right now. And just a bunch of really cool stuff is in this marsh, and it's really useful. Like, even back here is one of what's considered to be one of the more useless weapons, even though its stats are simple and really interesting. So this hammer does critical hits, but it only increases your strength by 1. It actually has no decreases on it, which is really cool. Like, I don't know why people hate on this item so much, because all it does is... Oh, wow, that is really rare. Oh, it's rare for me anyways. I only ever get gold bags and gold coins. I never get those statues unless it's the boss. So, what I was saying, I don't know why people hate on that weapon so much. I don't use it because I like the idea of decreasing a stat to increase another one, kind of like how Eve works in the Binding of Isaac, for anyone who understands that. So now we move on to fight the Necromancer's army once more. So it's nothing new except for the fact that the other magician does this and now it's new. So if you're playing as the Lightning Knight or the Red Knight, do most of this Let's Play, this part is a fucking breeze. I remember when I first played through this, it was just magic, magic, magic. And these guys are a lot faster than the ones we were fighting. So a key difference between the ones that we fought in Lava World and the ones we just regularly fight, and then necromancers that are the ones we fought in Lava World, they are exponentially faster and stay on you a lot harder, and I am fucking not dying again. Screw you. I've died way too many times in the past few episodes. So I'm just going to keep my regular strategy with dealing with beefies, and that's just stay at a safe distance and attack until all the beefies are dead, and hopefully some collateral will take place as well. I am playing very recklessly for this part of the game, which I really need to break that streak, actually, because playing this recklessly this far into the game is not really smart, because there are quite a few consequences. The stages get longer, enemies become a lot stronger and are able to kill you a lot easier. So, okay, I'm almost dead again. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why I said that either, because I just fucking explained why shit is beginning to start hitting the fan for me. You can see here, they are actually pretty difficult enemies. If you think I'm lying about this, you really need to try and fight them for yourself, because they have like maxed out stats at this point, and it's really annoying because the skeletons are some of the tougher enemies in the game that you fight. They have pretty much all maxed out stats and are really strong. Like you see there, that did 33 damage, and I have quite a bit of health and shield. Not only that, that just did 80 damage. And not even counting all that he did. Why did he just randomly die? Was he poisoned? Or whatever. Now we have to deal with these assholes again, which are just as bad as any of the other ones we've been fighting. But for the most part, if you know how to play the game, then these aren't that bad. It is kind of easy to lose yourself in places like this, and you can see here I'm taking so much fucking damage. My really big tip for these guys is just watch out when they have their magic loading, because it reaches a lot further and does a lot more damage than you would think. So yeah, pretty much just use the third dimension to your advantage. Behind this house is the Holy Sword, but it's extremely difficult to find with Tazo. You gotta get really lucky. It is one of the more interesting swords in the game, though, where it only has upgrades, no decreases. It looks really cool, too. I'm pretty sure it's called the Holy Sword anyway. I'm not 100% sure of all the official names of the weapons in the game, but I am pretty positive about that one being called Holy Sword. These guys, since these guys are green, you can't really tell they're poison, which is really funny. I don't know why I think that's funny, I just do. Kind of like the sand tornadoes from the last episode, those being, what is it, those turning like a weird greenish color, greenish brown, kind of like baby diarrhea, fucking something like that. Don't ask me how I know what the color of baby diarrhea looks like. I just have an idea. Oh, fuck, I accidentally used, fuck me. I pressed B over that so I could drag up this weapon, which is the candlestick, which has fire! Okay, well, I just used a potion. I didn't need that anyway. I almost freaked out about missing a full heal. So here we get introduced to the same mini-boss. You'll remember this from the troll fight a while back. But he's back again. Yes, he's back again. I'm ending it there because copyright. Oh my god, okay. Let's just move. So the difference is that these trolls do a lot more damage and swarm you a lot quicker. So same recommendation for last time. Go for the big troll, especially with crowd control. If you've got your magic upgraded, use it as much as possible and be very cautious. You never really want to give the enemy an inch in this game, because if you manage to do that, you're fucked. You are so fucked, especially in big crowds like this. Oh my god. Okay, too many fucking enemies, which is good for the most part, because the more minier trolls he spawns out, that means he's dying soon. Which I was right, but that makes it sound like my audio is these things, because I continued on with the sentence even though the troll boss already died. You should get a lot more for that, for beating him. I know he's not hard, but I still think they should give you just a little bit more. But yay, the first time I was faced with any sort of real challenge and did not die, and I thought you were an enemy for a second. Why do these peasants all have like really shitty swords? Like earlier that one was using the fishing rod, which is actually the worst weapon in the game. Because it is only stat decreases. It has no upside. I can't tell who's fighting who, or who's beating who here. All I know is I took half of the damage and health, and my jaw really hurts. I don't know why I jerked up in that, because my jaw actually does really hurt, and it's not fun. So here we get another animal orb, which makes you slower, but increases your defense astronomically. So depending on whatever you want to do for that, if you have really high agility, really low defenses, that animal orb can do quite a bit for you. But other than that, it's mostly useless. I really don't recommend using it on the water temple level coming up, which I will go ahead and spoil that. Yeah, we are coming up with the water temple level, because this is pretty much the end. All we have to do is fight a few more guys and a boss, which this boss takes a long time. Like, it's just time consuming is really it. And there is something you can do to really make this boss a lot easier. If you're playing on single player anyways, there's something you can do to make this boss a hell of a lot easier. If you're playing on multiplayer, it shouldn't be that hard at all, especially because you've got a lot of different people covering different amounts of the screen, and you'll see what I mean when we fight this boss coming up soon, which it will probably be in this episode. Jesus Christ, these guys just aren't going down. Alright, so now we can continue onward into the cornfield with our villager and our peasant. So if we wander out here, we will see there is a giant angry kernel of corn. So something I recommend doing, hit it as much as you can at the most part, but definitely go stand over here and wait for him to attack you over here. So that way, even if you do take a little bit of damage, it makes him it aggroes your guys. So now you've got more people fighting you. It is actually really helpful to have sound when you're fighting this guy. I don't have sound right now because I lost my earphones, and I've just had to turn the sound off for me for a while until I either find them or get a new pair. So that's happening. It does make this boss a lot easier. All you have to do is really just go around in circles, let your lackeys deal with it, and attack with mostly damaging magic from afar. He does get a lot harder the more you fight him, though, but you shouldn't die on this boss, especially in single player, because of all the popcorn. Even though it does only heal one, it shouldn't be that bad, is my point. Like, no matter what happens, it shouldn't be that bad. Something really funny about this boss, though, is that the more you hurt him, the more, like, his kernel goes down. You can start seeing his pants and a shirt and then underwear more. It gets really funny looking once you go down. He has, like, a lot of different models. And, wow, you can really tell it looks like he took a lot of damage there. So something that makes this boss pretty satisfying is the fact that he looks funny as he's taking damage, and you really get that nice little source of, you're actually hurting something. Maybe that's not so good after all. Bethesda. Why'd I say Bethesda? I was going to say Behemoth Studios training psychopathic killers since when did Alien Colony came out? I have no idea. Oh shit, alright. So, the more he loses his kernels, the faster he goes, and he's actually a lot harder to hit. What I recommend doing is just that nice little turnaround. He gets a number of different attacks later on, like he'll attack the ground and the air. So if you try to dodge him, he can't actually attack the air. And he starts using his defense or his shield a lot more often. You just really need to watch out, and if you get knocked down at least once, just back up for a bit and get your ground. Otherwise, you'll get caught in a really difficult to get out of combo from him. So, oh, I've been explaining this boss for this whole time. There's actually quite a bit to the bosses in this game. Like, they're really, for the most part, they're pretty well thought out and fairly difficult. They are one of the bigger parts of this game, so I would expect them to be. Something about this boss, too, is that that spinning attack he does, you can jump over it, even though that was a terrible example of being able to jump over it. Okay, I really just need to get back. I am not dying to this boss, especially not after saying how you can die to this boss, or how most of the time you shouldn't die to this boss. I've got 2 potions left. I should be good, and the cheapest place to buy potions in the game is coming up. So, okay. It's okay. Just keep on, keeping on. Sometimes you'll miss him, but your lackeys will at least get a little bit of damage. Oof on him. Alright, no. I'm not even going to risk it. I'm going to use the potion now. So if you get lucky like that, I recommend just going in for it, because there's no way you're going to be able to get off enough time. And once he loses all of his kernels, he actually gets really hard to hit, but thankfully I got him in a nice little combo there. And if you're low on health, this is your only opportunity to refill, and then one of the other guys that probably wouldn't help you in the fight unless you got him involved, like I said to you at the beginning, which that actually makes that fight a ton easier. And he goes out and gets you the magical horn, which why that was in a barn in the middle of a cornfield guarded by a giant stalk of corn, a murderous giant stalk of corn, for that matter, is just really, really weird. Like, I don't know, you think they'd have an off switch for something like that. So let's just go ahead and get some more defenses, and we'll go ahead and go over the Swamp Villager store. So there it goes. Another animal orb, typical, and like I said, cheapest place in the game to buy potions, so you might as well go ahead and heal up. And then finally, this is a sword I was using for a while now. You can buy it here, buy it from this bigger barbarian, which is really odd. I'm not 100% sure as to why he's there. Alright, well, whatever. Like I mentioned, there's a new arena unlocked. I'm not going to be going over the arenas because they're hard as balls on single player. Well, not the earlier ones, but the later ones are hard as balls. And, let's go ahead and just open this up. Alright. That opens the door to the water temple, and I think I'm going to end it off here. So, thank you all for watching, and don't forget, save early, save often.